This is my ethnicity estimate with ADNTRO. Now, this is one that I kind of came across more recently, and I actually really like how they break down the estimates. They do it a bit different than the other sites, and this is also where I got my haplogroup confirmed. But for this video, I'm just going to go over my estimate, and then in the next video, I'm going to go over my haplogroup, I'm going to go over my sister's haplogroup, and I'm going to show you a medical mystery and why our DNA has scientists puzzled. All right, so let's go over my ethnicities for this one. So as you can see here, North American, right? It says I'm 58% North American, and that includes the Carib. African Caribbean is the main part of where this 54% comes from. And then it says 3% Native and African American. And then underneath this is African American. Now, I find this quite interesting because this breakdown to me is saying you're Native as a Native American or you're Native as an African American to North America, right? Because I believe that this 40% here, refers to the African American part that was taken from slavery. So I really find this test pretty curious and pretty informative, and it's pretty accurate. All right, so Africa, it says 40%, and that is 17% broad West Africa, which is the Mende, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Gambia area. 16% broad East Africa, which is Lawa, Kenya, and then 8% Yoruba, Nigeria, Benin, and Togo. Now, these percentages are a little surprising to me because I usually find that Yoruba is my highest percentage, and Kenya, the broad East Africa, is usually my lowest percentage. So these here and this one, these two are switched. So I find that quite curious. And then it also says South America, 2% Indigenous America, Colombia and Ecuador. And this is not the first time I've seen the indigenous from South America. But yeah, so total is 5% indigenous, 54% African Caribbean, and the Carib. And actually, the Carib, and I'll go down and read a little bit of what that is. That's pretty much saying indigenous to the Caribbean as well. So in this ethnicity estimate, my breakdown is either Native or African. So I find that quite interesting. Okay, and then the ethnic regions that they say I'm from. So the Carib includes the Amazon and the Caribbean, right? And I'll just read a little bit of this so you can understand what that kind of means, right? So in the 21st century, tribes completely isolated from the world are still being discovered in Brazil, which allows us to discover a new perspective on how people lived in the Neolithic. It is quite probable that the Amazonian tribes have their origin in the migration of a flow of people that crossed the Bering Strait during the Ice Age about 10,000 years ago and settled in the jungle. Now, it's not saying that I have anything to do with the Amazon, but for me, my results are talking about the Caribbean. So now it's saying, as far as the Caribbean is concerned, it is a sea located in Mesoamerica. It has a large number of islands. Some of them are larger, greater Antilles, and others smaller, small Antilles. The oldest evidence of human life is found on the island of Trinidad. And for me, that's interesting because some of my family do come from Trinidad on my mother's grandfather's side. So that's not surprising to me either. Then we have Andinian, I hope I said that right, which is, I guess, also native to South America, indigenous to South America, and then Native American, the North Native Americans, right? So again, this is saying that I have 3% Native African Americans to the United States, and that I know how that is true because that is on my dad's grandmother's side. Okay. All right, so that's my breakdown for this site. And in part 2, I'm going to go over the medical mystery.